Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we will talk about how to trace over Google Street Views and create this style of architectural sketches easily in Procreate. Then how to turn the sketch into a composition like this and create these monochromatic looks really quickly. Let's get into it. First we go to Google Maps and find the place we want to draw. If you have photos of this place, then you can use these photos as well. For this video, we just walk through Google Street View and take screenshots of the place. We are trying to capture all the angles as much as possible. This will be useful when we head into Procreate. In Procreate, to create a new canvas, I am choosing the screen size, which is one of the presets that can be found in the menu. Then I am importing some of the photos I have just screenshot. Some angles looks more interesting than the others, as it captures more of the spatial quality of the place. Since these are captured from approximately a height of a car, you can see the distortion as the buildings go higher. You can keep this distortion as it is, if this angle is something you prefer. But I do not want a third vanishing point going high in the sky. Therefore, I start manipulating this photo. I activated the 2D grid, so it can help me to tell how the vertical lines need to be adjusted. You can clearly see the higher the building goes, the closer the vertical lines of the walls get to each other. I am bringing another photo with less distortion to get closer the angle I want, and I am trying to merge these two into one meaningful shot. When I am happy with the look, I merge these two layers and drop the opacity. This will be helpful when we start tracing. I create a new layer to start sketching and choose the script brush under the calligraphy set. I start tracing with sketchy lines. I am not going for a very clean polished look, but rather a hand sketch look. You can adjust your line quality according to the style you are going for. I simply trace over all the basic geometries around this building. It is up to you to decide which details you want to include and which not to. I will be building up the details as I go on further, therefore I start with basic outlining. After I finish a draft, it will be a lot easier to decide which details would bring life to this drawing and which wouldn't have any impact. If you want to check if your lines are following to the vanishing points of this photo, you can activate the perspective guide in Procreate. You can locate your vanishing points according to the photo you are working on and make sure everything is aligned correctly. Since we are tracing, this doesn't have much of a use currently. But if you prefer, you can keep it and see if everything goes according to this grid. I finished tracing the outlines of the building, so I continue with adding the windows and other details from the facade in order to create a more detailed, proper look. I continue adding some details to the neighboring buildings as well, but I still want to keep them simpler compared to the main corner building. In these adjacent buildings, I am changing the detail level a little and creating windows made out of lines. I am adding details to the environment. The trees and the pavements along the road will help us to define the surrounding area. Now I am done with the basic tracing. I bring the photo gallery window next to Procreate to bring more details. Swipe up and carry the gallery application icon to the corner of the screen. This will bring the photo gallery to your screen in half position. You can play with this ratio. I start adding the details that I couldn't see while tracing. The lower opacity works well while you are bringing the general look together. But in order to work on the details, you need to see the photos in full opacity, possibly even close up. So the screenshots we took in Google Street View is becoming useful now. I am going through all the photos to see the different details in each part. I am adding a line pattern over the roofs to represent the grey tile look in my sketch. There seems to be a store on the ground floor, so I am working on that. I created the windows and door, now working on the stone facade. While you are sketching, do not worry too much about making things perfect at the first try. This is a process and you are going to have mistakes and unexpected turns, so try to have some fun and freedom. As I add more details on this main facade, the initial sketchy lines seem like a little out of place. I start to feel like I need to straighten some of the lines here. I still try to keep the initial sketch vibe I was going for. I add more details and I redraw some more lines, so I keep reshaping the drawing continuously. It is important you have patience in this process, as the details you add will make the drawing livelier and more vivid. Once I am done drawing, I merge all these drawing layers. Then I start creating a selection area with Freehand selection tool. My aim is to create a fill color surrounding the sketch I drew so far, so I trace around the outer edges of my drawing carefully. I fill this area with white color and you can see the result here. Now I am done with the tracing and detailing the sketch. I want to create a lively scene in front of this building. I create a new layer and go through our architectural sketching brush sets. We will leave the link for these in the description box below. You can use these brush sets or draw your version of street furniture and other elements. I am adding clouds and birds to the sky and traffic lights and street lights alongside the road. I am sketching this corner that I haven't finished before, and then continue adding some fills and patterns to certain areas. We will talk about creating custom patterns on another video. For now, you can check our architectural patterns brush set, or you can use different colors and textures existing in Procreate. Now, I can finally add some people to the streets. For this, I am using our outdoor people brush set. You can find the link in the description box below. You can also sketch human figures in your own style and use them to create a lively street scene. You can see the human figures do not have a solid fill and kind of transparent. We will fix that in a moment. First, I add all the figures in different locations with different heights to empower the 3D perspective effect. When I am done, I merge all these layers and use automatic selection tool to select the background. Then I use invert option to select the figures instead. Now I can simply fill this area with white. I am drawing a sun over this side of the sky. I feel the sun can bring some nice depth, and I am adding a white fill inside as well. Then, in order to strengthen the depth effect, I add a little faded white around the building. I use soft brush for this under airbrushing brush set. This is to create a nice gradient passage where the sky meets the building and the ground. I do the same gradient effect on the two sides of these buildings. This will make it feel like they are a little further away than the rest. Now I will add some tree figures to frame this scene nicely. I choose my brushes from the architectural sketching brush set again. I am adding some blurry white below the sun layer to create a shining light effect here. Then I add grain textures and line patterns to the ground. Clipping mask is helping me to keep the textures within correct limits. Now I am doing the final adjustments, adding a tree on the left side, drawing buses and a bike to bring diversity. I am also drawing some faces and some details to the human figures. When I am happy with the look, I export the drawing as PNG. Then I insert this image back to here. I make sure it is above all the other layers and start playing with the blending options. Multiply makes the lines a little darker, which works well for this drawing. Then I create a new layer and fill it with nice colors to create the monochromatic looks we mentioned at the beginning of this video. You can use whichever color you want, and then play with the blending options as you wish. I am trying a red and blue color as well. My favorite turns out to be the blue, since it gives an effect that looks as if the drawing is made with ink. And with this effect, we can finally conclude this video. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. We will be continuing to experiment with Procreate in architecture.